What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA, and yep, once again, we got to talk about the excuse-making media and all the problems that exist with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it all belongs to the fans, right? We are the problems, right? The consumers, the customers, those are the problems, not the people making bad content. Nope, don't blame those guys for this crap that keeps coming out. Nope, you got to blame the fans, right? As it says there, the real problem with MCU Phase 4 was us. The Marvel Cinematic Universe's fourth phase received some pushback from fans. Were the criticisms warranted, or did expectations get too high? Yeah, see, this is the issue that these guys don't simply understand. Like, imagine you go to a restaurant and you get some inedible garbage served up to you on a plate, right? Some crap that just, I'm not eating this. No, take that back. I'm not eating it. Then the chef comes rolling out of the back and he blames you, the consumer, right? The customer. He blames you for not liking his crappy food, right? Like food you were actually trying to eat. Like you're sitting here, you came out to the restaurant, you're sitting here, you actually want a good meal, okay? You were willing to pay for it as well. But no. Somehow this is your fault that this food is crap. Your expectations were too high. It's like, come on, dude. But that's where we're at with mainstream media, woke Hollywood. They just back each other's play every single time. And it's getting annoying at some point in time. It's like, you guys ain't going to listen to the fans. So, you know what? Let's go ahead and jump into this article. The MCU's Phase 4 has been subject to plenty of criticism over the last several years, but not all of the complaints surrounding this era of the franchise are warranted. In fact, looking at the MCU's fourth phase in hindsight may reveal that some harsh takes on the films and the series therein weren't always accurate. As the long-running superhero franchise gears up for the inception of Phase 5 with next year's Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, it may require a resetting of expectations to keep up with the latest Marvel films. Marvel did plenty to kill people's expectations and excitement on their own, okay? They didn't actually need Screen Rant to point any of this stuff out, all right? We got it. We understand it. Marvel did such a shitty job in Phase 4. There is no way in the world that Phase 5 is coming in with anything but lowered expectations. The fourth phase of the MCU inherited a difficult challenge in picking up the pieces of the well-received Infinity Saga, which has been highly regarded as a golden age for superhero movies. While Phase 4 attempted to improve on the finale of Avengers: Infinity War and Endgame, its projects were often belittled in comparison to prior films in the franchise, for good reason, okay? Again, you guys did a great job with the first three phases. We get into Phase 4, and not only did it get off to a terrible start, but it just continued. It's like this thing never got any better, right? And a lot of people were just like, you know what? I'm ready for the Marvel Cinematic Universe to end. We good. I don't have to keep watching this crap. This crap, obviously, they've shot their wad, right? That's what it felt like. The constant pushback and negative reception in response to Phase 4 have led some to consider it to be the worst phase it is so far in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, with some even going so far as to claim that Marvel has lost its magic touch. Yeah, I mean, again, they just don't know where they're going with this thing, all right? This thing is just kind of floundering all over the place. It doesn't really seem to have any direction. None of the characters are interested. None of the storylines. I'm not following any of this stuff, all right? Like the first phase, second phase, and third phase of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the Infinity Saga as they call it, it came together beautifully, all right? You had characters that we cared about. You had storylines that you could follow that made sense, all right? They threw so much content at us in Phase 4. There was no way in the world this was going to work. And I'm not sure who thought that it was going to work, but they made a big blunder. Phase 4 has proven to be quite divisive for several distinct reasons, contributing to the notion that the MCU has dipped in quality or has lost its direction. Yeah, it has, actually. I mean, there's no question about it at this point. Unfortunately, some of this criticism was objectively unjustified when it took the form of problems with the franchise's expanding representation. Here we go, with female-led projects like She-Hulk and Ms. Marvel being review bombed mere seconds after their premiere. While review bombers may be a vocal minority, their loud backlash to increasingly diverse titles can't be denied as a major contributing factor to Phase 4's divisive nature, which will undoubtedly continue as Phase 5 and 6 double down on Marvel's efforts to increase representation in titles. I can go complete broken record about this, but we have discussed this in full detail over and over and over. And these guys over here at Screen Rant, they just ain't gonna pay attention. Probably Marvel ain't, or anybody who denies what we're talking about, okay? We don't care about you increasing representation, okay? What we care about is good stories, all right? If you want to increase representation, whatever, I don't care. Is the story any good? Does the story make sense? Do I like these characters? Start off with that. I don't like the characters you're showing me. So if I don't like the characters, I'm probably not going to like your show. Even if the storyline behind the show is kind of interesting, I'm probably still going to be like, I don't like this person that I'm looking at. This She-Hulk is a terrible, horrible human being as a character, period. I don't like this character. All right. I don't know who likes this character. So even if you write the best show that ever has been written, you gave me a shitty character to follow. And that's the reason that nobody likes it. What's so hard to understand about this? You see, what really bothers me about this is that the mainstream media sites like this will never put the onus on the Marvels or the Lucasfilms or the Warner Brothers to make quality programming that fits with their audience, right? It's almost like the audience don't even matter at this point. We don't care what the audience feels. And then when their shit show gets destroyed on Rotten Tomatoes, they cry foul, oh, your review bombing, you know, oh, it's the racism and the misogyny. They do all of that crap. It's like from now on, I'm like willing to say like, you know, racism is code for people with taste. You know, it's like because every time somebody comes out, or misogyny, it's just code for people with taste. Somebody calls you a racist or misogynist in regards to a show or something. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. They call you this, but they're not listening to your legitimate criticisms. They don't care about that. All right. All they want to do is, oh, shit, you guys just don't like representation. No, I don't care about representation. That's the problem. I don't care who's represented. I just want a good story. That's it. That's all I care about. Good storytelling. I don't care who you put on the screen. All of these studios would solve all of their problems if they did what, Rock?
Listen to the fans.
That's all they got to do. Listen to the fans. Other Phase 4 complaints take a far less toxic approach to critique the current era of the MCU. A common point of contention has been the seeming lack of direction therein, as many recent titles don't seem to tie into the overarching story, leaving it unclear how characters like Doctor Strange fit into the multiverse saga as a whole. The increased number of Marvel titles each year contributed to this issue, with the wider range of stories being told, not always coinciding with the ongoing theme of the multiverse itself. This could lead to disenfranchisement and a belief that Phase 4's story is moving too slowly. Well, I mean, yeah, it's like you have a bunch of stories basically that aren't connected to anything. They don't seem like they make any sense. Like I said, the characters are the main thing, because if you give us a good character, I'll follow that character and see whatever the hell that character is going to go through. All right. Even if the story itself doesn't seem to connect with other stuff, right? If you give me a good character like Iron Man, like we didn't know how this whole thing was going to flow from the very beginning of the first Iron Man all the way to the end. We had no idea what was going to happen, how they were going to connect all of these dots together with all of these various characters. We knew nothing, okay? But we liked Tony Stark, okay? We started with that. Hey, I like this character of Tony Stark. I want to see where he's going to go, okay? I want to see how they're going to develop his story. Same thing with Captain America. Hey, this Captain America, pretty cool character. I liked him. Loved him in the second film. They just kept building on his story, all right? Same thing with Thor, okay? You give us good characters that we enjoy, all right? And you just build on them, all right? And we'll follow you into the forest of nonsense that you're drawing up and building for yourselves. But we'll be there. But if you can't write characters, when you give us the Eternals, okay, a whole basket of characters that nobody cares about, right? You give us Shang-Chi, which is a cool little martial arts film, all right? But there's like literally nothing to this guy's character that makes me want to get excited for that second film, okay? Like these are all legitimate criticisms that have nothing to do with anybody's race, anybody's sexuality, or anything, okay? This is about the damn show or the damn characters that you're writing and you're inserting into our faces. If you don't write good characters, don't get mad at me. Get mad at your writers, get mad at your directors, get mad at all of those people. Don't get mad at me. I'm just a fan just turning on the TV and seeing what's up, all right? You gave me this boring-ass Moon Knight story. You gave me this boring-ass Miss Marvel, okay? I didn't care about these characters. Miss Marvel has never worked as a character. But here she is. We're going to shove this chick into your face. You gave us Black Captain America, which nobody asked for, which is a terrible idea, race-swapping Captain America, the character, okay? Or not, or just basically shitting on Sam Wilson, all right? That's what you did with these guys, all right? So don't get mad at me as a fan, as a consumer, when I'm like, hey, I'm not buying this bull crap that you're trying to feed to me, all right? Don't get mad at me, all right? Take your ass back to the drawing board and figure out how to write better stories and characters on top of that. Is Phase 4 really the MCU's worst phase? Yes! While there is no denying that Phase 4 is the most divisive in the MCU, that makes it the worst one automatically. Like if everybody was on board with phases 1, 2, and 3, and then you get to 4, and 4 is all kinds of divisive, okay? It's the worst phase. Done. There's no even reason to even talk about it. You just admit it. It's the most divisive phase. That makes it the worst one. Claiming that it's the worst phase yet is painting with far too broad a brush. Despite many claims that Marvel projects have dipped in quality, the actual statistics for critical approval don't completely agree though. Though the Rotten Tomato scores for Thor, Love and Thunder, and certain other recent projects are lower than many other MCU titles, the average Rotten Tomato score for Phase 4 movies is an impressive 84%, superseding the averages of both Phase 1 and 2. Only Phase 3's average stands slightly higher with an impressive 89 average. That means nothing to me. Honestly, that means nothing to me at all. Like I've said before, the critics are the critics, okay? And they can say, yeah, man, these shows are great. These movies are great. We love it. All this. Hey, the critics are not the consumers, okay? The consumer is what matters. The critics are giving opinions. That's their job. I get it. But if you're talking about actual human beings, people that have to pull money out of their pocket and give it to Marvel, I would more care about those people's opinions than some stupid critics, all right? Because what are the critics going to tell me? But they can't convince me to go and watch this trash. If I see it with my own eyes, I'm going to be like, nah, I'm not watching this. Okay, I don't care what you got to say about it, all right? Because I've already seen what they've done with these other shows. I'll just wait for it to come out sometime down the road, okay, Disney Plus or home video or whatever, all right? And the box office numbers prove it, okay? Doctor Strange, Thor, Love and Thunder, Black Panther, okay? All 3 came out this year. These are all post-pandemic. Don't give me that pandemic crap, all right? These are all post-pandemic films. Not one of them hit $1 billion. The only film that cracked that $1 billion mark was Spider-Man No Way Home, and that's a joint project with Sony that had a ton of fan service in it. Audience ratings, however, are a different story, with many of Marvel's lowest scores coming from Phase 4, exactly. Though these numbers are tenuous considering the destructive nature of review bombing. Oh, here we go. Which has made it nearly impossible to ascertain accurate fan approval for titles like She-Hulk or Ms. Marvel. What really went wrong with Marvel's Phase 4 in this regard wasn't the quality of the projects, but rather their wide range of storytelling in different genres, which was destined to appeal to more niche groups. Phase 4 also included projects like Spider-Man No Way Home, Loki, and Werewolf by Night, which are hailed as some of Marvel's greatest projects of all time. Yeah, I mean, a couple of things were good. It wasn't like Phase 4 was just a complete bust. Yeah, like these were good. These are good little projects, okay? Nobody's saying that they aren't, all right? But at the same time, that's not the entirety of Phase 4, right? Phase 4 also had the Eternals and Moon Knight and She-Hulk. Man, and those are some of the worst films that they've ever done. Thor, Love and Thunder, absolute crap. That Black Widow movie, horrible. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, horrible. Hawkeye, snooze fest, okay? Need I go on? All right, that was all in Phase 4 too. Don't just conveniently leave that out, Screen Rant. Criticism regarding Phase 4's seeming lack of direction must also be held in comparison to previous phases. As the first entry of the multiverse saga, Phase 4 is most comparable to Phase 1 of the MCU, the franchise's foundation. Phase 4 did not have the crossover finale that Phase 1 had, but it has done more for its respective saga in less time. Oh, really? Oh, no, I don't think that's true at all. After 2 years, Phase 4 has already introduced the multiverse main villain setup, Avengers Secret Wars, and introduce heroes to join the battle ahead. The perception that Phase 4 is directionless mainly stems from the number of increased projects, not the pace of the storytelling. No, it's about the lack of cohesion with the characters, all right? And I just explained that, all right? You gave a bunch of characters, nobody knows where they're going, and nobody likes the characters to begin with. Like, I could care less what you're setting up if I don't care where it began, all right? Oh, we got all this great stuff coming down the line for you. We got Secret Wars coming up, we're setting that up. We got Kane as the villain, we're setting that up, okay? They got all of these things that's coming up. Oh, yeah, look forward to it. Guys, you don't know how great it's going to be. Well, it's not great now. I need it to be great right now for me to want to continue along on this journey, okay? We're driving across the country. I need the beginning of this thing to work, so I don't want to just jump out of the car, all right? I know you got some great destination that we headed to, all right? And you want us to stay along for the ride, but if I'm starting to get car sick and the road is bumpy and we're weaving around and we're getting hit by rocks and all kind of other crap is going on this car trip, I'm like, hey, let me out. I'm done. I can't do this car trip no more, okay? I'll catch a plane going back the other direction. I mean, that's just where it's at right now. It's time to jump off this crazy train, all right? This thing has no brakes. I don't want to be a part of it when it crashes. How fan expectations shape MCU Phase 4's reception. And once again, they keep blaming fans for this. Like, talk about this crappy movie here, The Eternals. Talk about this. Critics didn't like it. Fans didn't like it. Nobody liked it. All right. But you don't want to talk about that. That is what, remember, everything was circling around Eternals. Eternals is big. Eternals is huge. This thing is such an important, man, they don't talk about Eternals anymore. They don't even know if they're doing a sequel. But yeah, no, it's the fans' expectations. Oh, our expectations were too high. Get out of here, man. I'm tired of this crap. The biggest problem with Phase 4 hasn't been the quality or lack of interconnectivity, but rather the incredibly lofty expectations that plague each project. For example, WandaVision, one of the MCU's best Disney Plus series, was overshadowed by running rumors that the show would reintroduce Quicksilver. Well, it kind of did, in a sense. Set up the X-Men and feature a cameo from the villainous Mephisto. Similarly, plot predictions for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness were more akin to that of Secret Wars, making the actual movie feel smaller and less satisfying in comparison. Time and time again, rumors led to disappointment when building blocks of the multiverse saga didn't carry the same weight as Avenger-level movies. Yeah, the problem is that all this little crap that they were setting up for this stuff is less interesting than the fan theories that were coming up, right? The fans were coming up with better storylines and better interesting things than the damn writers of the show, all right? Wow, they got these characters coming, Man, I'm excited. Let's go, all right? And then you end up with, all right, whatever. You know, you end up with a whole hum experience, and then they say, well, you know, you shouldn't have expected too much. Well, damn it, I know what the comics did, and they were much better than what you're doing. Like, why can't I expect them to kind of write good material? They have it right there at their fingertips. Why can't I expect that? You know, like again, but my expectations are the problems. Okay. And the thing about it, like a person like myself, I'll take whatever you give me on its face. Hey, if it's good, it's good. If it's trash, it's trash. I'll take it. And what ends up happening, especially with the MCU in Phase 4, is it's mostly been trash. All right. With a few little exceptions here and there, but mostly trash. Then they're trying to say, well, it's Phase 3 is the problem, right? Which was the climactic end and the 3-act story structure of the Infinity Saga. Oh, it's Phase 3. That's the issue. But Phase 4 can't be compared to Phase 3's pace because each was designed for a completely different purpose to fit the MCU's larger narrative. While Phase 3 was meant to bring the Infinity Saga to a climactic end, Phase 4's job is merely to lay the groundwork for the brand new multiverse saga and introduce the major players therein, a job which it has undeniably accomplished. You've introduced players that absolutely nobody cares about, all right? And that's the reason why a lot of people just saw Endgame as the end. You know, it's like, hey, the MCU is done, all right? Everybody's unsnapped. The story is complete. Stark is dead. Captain America's an old man. Hulk has become a chump that I don't care about anymore. Just like a completely destroyed character, right? Same with Thor in a lot of ways. Hey, no need to continue watching. They finished this thing up. Let's just move on to something else. That's what a lot of people felt. But they kept going with it, and it's like, all right, let's see what they're going to do. And they haven't done anything remotely interesting. Phase 1, if you want to compare Phase 1 to Phase 4, Phase 1 is 10 times better. Just on the strength of the character work alone, okay? I am not interested in seeing what happens with any of these characters that they've introduced in Phase 4. Not at all, all right? But yeah, go ahead and blame the fans. And the crazy thing about it is we've already seen that Marvel is talking about, yeah, we got to get some quality over quantity going, okay? We force-fed all kinds of crappy shows and movies into Phase 4. Yeah, Phase 5 and 6, yeah, we got to change directions, all right? We've seen this article. It came out like almost a month and a half ago. Marvel Studios is reportedly reevaluating its upcoming Phase 5 and 6 slate after heavy internal criticism. Not us. Not us at all. It's on them. Their own criticism said, nah, we're messing this thing up. We're doing something wrong about Phase 4's direction. So yeah, again, I'm tired of the arguments that the fans are the problem. The fans are not the problem. It's the content creators, okay? Stop blaming the customer and blame the chef for cooking up trash food. Anyway, folks, what do you think about this situation? You guys jump down in the comments. Give me your honest thoughts and opinions on this situation. And thanks for watching. See you next time.